Hey everybody, it's Eddie from Tokyo. This is your cryptocurrency update from Japan. This video is of course for everybody, but it has one special person it's been made for, and that is Max Keiser. Max, I love you. I've been watching you for years. I like the perspective that you give from RT. I think we are all better for it to hear the perspectives of news, especially when it's delivered with factual evidence for geopolitical or even local news for that matter. And I want to thank you for all those programs that you have given us. But this is one time where I want you to reconsider your position, your thought process, and what you are putting out there. Because I think you are just unfortunately a little behind the eight ball when it comes to understanding XRP and the company Ripple. So please, I know you did this tweet on the 7th of June at 10. No, this is the second one you did that day at 1:30 p.m. And according to your tweet on this article by CCN, you think that Facebook's global coin, the stable global coin, will annihilate Ripple. Well, maybe you mean to say it'll annihilate XRP, because remember, Ripple is a company that provides software to the banking system, and it's really modernizing a system that has legacy software in place, and it's really doing quite well. And then it also has the digital asset XRP, and this is where I think you don't understand the difference between XRP and a stable coin. So I want to help you. Just give me just 5 minutes, okay? Let's first take a look at a visual that will help you understand what the current banking system is like. So this is the world's banks, and each bank or a group of banks, they actually build and use different platforms to do their payments. And the stable coins issued by banks, yes, they will create some less friction between intraday trading if they create these permissioned groups, but these groups just add another wire to the system, okay? Ripple's ILP, Interledger Protocol, was conceived because it's able to connect different payment systems together. It integrates the legacy bank system with the protocol. And then when it comes to XRP, you might be asking yourself, yeah, well, why XRP? Well, let me explain. Here you have a digital asset that is fast, it's scalable, and when I mean fast, I mean it can settle in 4 seconds. Its negligible energy consumption is very attractive. All the ledgers have closed without issue since inception. It has a dedicated team of the world-class engineers like no other project out there. No other project out there has that quality. And it also lowers foreign exchange costs. So a stable coin is centralized. XRP is not. A stable coin is tied to fiat, which becomes a liability, by the way. I'm sure you don't disagree with me on that. And XRP is not. A stable coin is not neutral. XRP is. A stable coin is nothing more than what a dollar is, or a euro, or a yen, or for any other sovereign nation currency for that matter. And it is backed by geopolitical interest. XRP is not. So it's centralized. It's a fiat. I'm talking stable coins here. It's a centralized, fiat-backed, non-neutral, geopolitically driven coin. All right? That is what it is. That is what it is. So here, if you've got an originator, whether it be in US dollars, euro, or Japanese yen, it will go to a digital asset exchange where it has a pool of XRP. And then it ends up going to the beneficiary, and you can see these corridors here. These corridors are open with XRP. This is Mexico, this is the Philippines, and curious enough, this is the Thai bot. So that is another story for another day when we talk about the retracted Twitter account, message that came from Siam Commercial Bank. I think it was put out there a little bit too early, and they don't have the press release coordinated yet, and that was probably somebody's mistake. However, let me just share with you, if you don't believe Ripple or you don't believe me, I'm going to bring you to an article that came out today, and that is an executive at MoneyGram. And that executive predicts that crypto takes over after they did internal tests with Ripple and XRP. And I want to show you that it is the worst kept secret about international remittances is that the value isn't really moving across borders when someone sends money overseas. Instead, companies pre-fund bank accounts. All right, I saved the best for last to explain why XRP. So let me show you this picture here. This is actually thanks to, it's a partial image thanks to @Dudas, which is on Twitter, @DUDAS. He did this, and you can really see all the money that is tied up in these Nostro bank accounts, 27 trillion. So just to get an idea of scale, here is the XRP market cap. Here is the 80 billion per year that Western Union processes. Here is the global non-cash transactions of 577 billion per year. Then you've got the per day of 5 trillion that SWIFT processes. And then here you can see visually how much money is tied up, sitting dormant in those accounts that are used to do cross-border remittances. And that is a huge cost to the banks. And there's a lot of payment companies that can't afford to have this kind of capital tied up. In addition, it is a cost that can be eliminated with XRP. I think now you might understand why XRP. So if I go on with this article, which is really, really good, I'll put it down in the description below, but you can see that MoneyGram did a proof of concept with one cryptocurrency, and we made a press release so I can answer that. That was with Ripple, where we are trying to see if we can use cryptocurrency for liquidity in the markets. And it goes on to say that because the big secret with money transfers is in the money doesn't move, the money's already there. We pre-fund pretty much in bank accounts all over the world, and then we do value transfer. But if I were to send money from here to Mexico and literally physically move the money at that time, it would take a lot of time. So cryptocurrencies could change the status quo, he says, by making it truly possible to send value across borders in an instant without needing to utilize pre-funded bank accounts. However, liquidity of crypto assets is a key issue still and needs to be overcome. And that is what Ripple is working on right now. And as you saw in the Ripple drop yesterday, it was 2 days ago, but I had it in my video yesterday. They are working hard, and many new corridors are coming this year. I'm sure it's going to be very exciting when those corridors are announced. All right. So there was an article that came out today, and some people thought, well, why did I tweet this? Because this is kind of old news. In the fact that we heard a lot about this in the end of February. I just thought maybe I could get a little bit of attention from Max, because he's not going to believe me if I tweet. In fact, if I tweet him like Digital Asset Investor did, he just blocks people right away. So anytime you send him something, he just blocks you. So I thought, okay, I'm going to use today's article that came out about Binance is all set to partner with Ripple so as to adopt its Xrp platform. Well, there is a lot of truth to this. And what I want to show you is that back in February, during his first video session on Periscope TV, this is his quote. He said that the exchange will sooner or later partner with Ripple to enhance its XRP-based rapid payment solution. So it's coming. We don't have a date, but it was true news. It wasn't fake news. And I thought that possibly tweeting that out this morning with copying him would get his attention, because it just wasn't some random person halfway across the world giving him some grief, and then he could just easily click that block button. So when I tweeted this, I also said, and no, Max, be a stand-up kind of journalist and don't block me like you did my friend Digital Asset Buy. That's Die, by the way. And level up your knowledge to where it should be in your position. XRP isn't even close to a fiat-backed centralized Facebook coin. My cat is not a dog. And so I wanted to show you that this is Bibi. I have 4 cats. She is the boss of the house. And when she heard this noise, she just thought it was hysterical and said, oh my gosh, they thought I was a dog? So, Max, you didn't block me yet. Maybe you still will. I hope not, because I do respect your stories. But I want you to get your facts straight. And I really want you to understand XRP. And it's okay. You don't have to own XRP. And, yep, totally okay. But understand that XRP is not a stable coin. And that's why it doesn't have anything to worry about with the Facebook coin coming out. Okay, and for all of you who love Jungle Inc. like I do, he had a really good video today about that. This is the card that it goes with, and he addresses that article that I touched on briefly from MoneyGram, and also about the Facebook coin. And I want to tell you that I'm also looking forward. We nailed down a time and day. I'm going to be on his, I don't know if it's going to be a stream or if we're going to record, but it will occur on Wednesday night, California Pacific Coast time, around 8 p.m., and that'll be my Thursday around noon. So I don't know if it's going to stream live. It possibly might, and I'm going to talk about MoneyTap and the cashless payment push here in Japan. So thanks for everyone who in advance will join us, because I think it's going to be very fun. I just, as you all know, I really respect Jungle Inc. So I want you to also view his video because it's very good. All right, so let's see. I am going to tell you something new. This is actually a conference that's coming up, and it is on, let's see, it's in Berlin, June 24th and 27th. And you'll find that Dilip Rao is going to be one of the speakers. And this is going to be, I think, a big event. It's a central bank payments conference. And Dilip is the global head of infrastructure innovation. What a great title, huh? I love the titles that they give people in the Ripple organization. And it is a subject that is designing DTL and the case of cross-border payments. So that's going to be good. And at that same day, which is Wednesday, there is someone else who is going to speak who is very interesting. And this is, let me see if I can do it without sounding too bad. She's from the Bank of Thailand, and it is Shana Noon Sabubdula. I'm sorry. This is really, really hard sometimes, and I hope people understand when it's not your language. It's impossible to pronounce it. I heard today, Thinking Crypto, he tried to pronounce Fukuoka. I'm not laughing at you, Tony, but it just goes to show that we just can't pronounce names and places in languages that we're unfamiliar with. So anyway, yeah, the pre-meeting for the G20 took place in a place in Japan called Fukuoka. It was so cute the way Tony said it. Okay, so anyway, I was very interested because she is part of a project that is called the Inthanon Project. So as the deputy director of the Bank of Thailand, she is pushing ahead the partnership with R3 on Corda in doing a stablecoin for their banks to solve the intraday trading. And those banks include like HSBC, the Siam Commercial Bank is also there, Standard Chartered is also there. So the domestic fund transfers is what they're doing. It seems to be that they're in phase 1. But I want to take you to phase 3 because this is interesting here. Phase 3 is to be expected to extend functionalities of the proof of concept for cross-border payments. So remember, phase 1 is for the domestic payments now, but they're going to move to the cross-border payment and interoperability. Anytime that word appears, I am always thinking of XRP, and it is with other platforms and the legacy system. So I have a feeling that it's going to roll over to definitely looking or testing the Ripple technology or the use of XRP, the digital asset. We have to wait and see, and it's kind of speculative at this point, but still, I think there is a really good chance. Okay, everybody, let's go to the fluff. I just learned about this project today, and it started more than 5 years ago, and it is in regards to Oregon's maximum security prison. They have been planning and raising money to do a Japanese garden, what they call their healing garden. And they are not going to take any funds from taxpayers for it, that the inmates have come up with ways to pay for it themselves. And it's really challenging for them because they don't have internet and they don't have access to email. But inside the prison, there is an Asian Pacific family club, and the inmates in the club came up with this idea. They wanted to build a solar power garden where they can seek a quiet place among the beauty of nature. And they actually teamed up with a very famous Japanese garden designer. His name is Horiichi Kurisu. And Mr. Kurisu is world famous, has done Japanese gardens all over the world. And he says that it does make sense to create a calming and harmonious environment so that this plan can become realized for these inmates. 94 to 95% of the inmates are going to come back into society. So the chance to teach them a community project to take care of it is a very valuable process for them to go through, and learning to do it through nature is one that seems to have high marks, because when they did a survey inside the prison, there was overwhelmingly a positive response that all of the inmates, not all, but a very high percentage of them thought that this project was worth pursuing. And so they even have a plan for a koi garden. Feeding koi, according to Mr. Kurisu, is providing food to a living being, which can provide hope for those that are inside the walls of the prison. And I just want to show you, I want to show you a picture of one of his gardens. This is one I have been to on many occasions. It is in Portland, Oregon, and it is the famous Japanese garden in Portland, and it is really, really lovely. It's big. It's very big. But if you get a chance to see any Japanese garden, I think you're going to have a wonderful experience. So let's see. Here is what the garden was initially planned to look like. And you can see that it has a gate to enter. And, you know, when you view or read a lot about the planning behind this, Mr. Kurisu believes that having a gate, you enter in, you're able to kind of empty your mind. And in emptying your mind and getting in tune with the nature and following a path that doesn't go straight, it will provide you that same sort of feeling you have in life where you are going on a journey, but you don't really know what's around the corner. And there's a waterfall in here too as well, and the waterfall symbolizes life, and as if you were born there in a pure sense, and that's how that life flows loosely, and that if you can come into this space and get rid of your angry thoughts or angry feelings, it has some healing energy that I think everybody deserves, even if you've made mistakes in your life and you are behind these prison walls. Remember that 94 to 95% are going to come back out into the community again. And I think this project is astonishing, fabulous, and should be done everywhere. I really do. So I hope that you feel the same way, and if you don't, that's okay. You can leave me a comment in the comment section below, but I think it is super. And if I have one more video to show you, they actually have started the construction. So from a 5-year plan to actually putting shovels into the ground, putting rocks in place, planting trees, they have started. What a great photo. This story just makes me feel great. All right, everybody, do take care. Okay, sayonara for now. Bye-bye.